We're 100 years on from a big event in Dublin's history. I'm not talking about 1916, I'm talking about the Lockout, 1913, where we had an exploited working class and an exploiting middle class or upper class or ruling class or whatever we want to call them. And I'm just fascinated about how people now, because it's very similar, you know, we still have exploited people, but how they reacted back then, you know, with you know, standing beside your fellow man and saying we're not taking this, and you know, and there's a big contrast between that and what's happening now, you know.
Yeah, well, the centenary of the Lockout is something that there are people now that are already moving on that and making sure it's marked properly. If you look at the centenary of the Rising, which is coming up, that's a totally top-down affair.
Yeah.
Like even for the 90th anniversary, we saw in 2006. I mean, there were tanks rolling down O'Connell Street, as if that was some kind of people's commemoration. If we're not careful in 1913, the same thing could happen. The Lockout commemoration could be fenced off from ordinary people.
Yeah.
So we need to begin organising a centenary from the bottom up. And there's people doing that. There's people like the North Inner City Folklore Project that have been doing that work for years and years. But the wheels are in motion there, and we have to make sure that 2013, we have a 2013. The things that we celebrate about the Lockout are really the incredible spirit, the community spirit that was shown at the time, the solidarity and the strength of the solidarity. But there's also some of the battles in 1913 were never won.
Yeah.
They weren't won then and they're not won now. You know, the right to organise in some workplaces still isn't there. The battles of 1916 continue in many ways. And politicising 2013 is something that we have to do next year. A really good point that, you know, Michael D. Higgins of all people made in Liberty Hall. He was saying that we talk about the Lockout as something awful that happened in an occupied country.
Yeah.
But William Martin Murphy, the leading employer in Dublin at the time, was an Irish nationalist himself. It had nothing to do with Irish nationalism and the British presence in Ireland. It was class politics.
That was it.
It was a class dispute, and we still have those class relations today.
It's a pleasure to have you in. I wish you all the best with your book, and get on to the website comeheretome.com.
.com. We finally chipped in a tenner each.
Commercialisation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, pal.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice one. Cheers.